Hello and welcome to Hot Innovators. In this show, very interesting entrepreneurs tell us about their new products, ideas, and services. Some of them have never been seen on the planet before. Others are new approaches to old problems and old products. So welcome to our show. And I'd like to welcome our guests. First of all, we have Sarrah Strimel. She is a co-founder of BYoga. We also have Nick O'Donnell, who is the founder of Terraform Design. And later on our show, we will have Julie Schortener, who is the president and co-founder of a company called the Muttly Crew. No, you heard me right, the Muttly Crew, right, it's the Muttly Crew, yes. And so with that, we're going to be telling you about some of the things that these wonderful people have been doing. And we're going to start with Sarrah. Sarrah, I know you as a Broadway star, a comedy actress, an interesting Broadway personality, and now you're into yoga. Please explain to us, how did that come about?
Yeah, so 15 years I was on Broadway. I did 7 Broadway shows, right. Which was incredible. It was the dream of my entire life, and somewhere along the way in that process, my body started to really feel the rigors of doing 8 shows a week, repetitive movements. Sure. So my physical therapist, she was like, you have to do something other than dance. Dancing is great, and you're great at it, but your body really needs to do some cross-training. So long story short, I went on a little hunt of what can I do besides dance? Right. The gym was out, not my thing. Tried a few different things, and then I landed on a hot power Vinyasa class, yoga class. Right. It's a method called Baptiste yoga, and the combination of super type A, sort of, hardcore athletic movement coupled with deep breathing and sweat, the whole thing was magical to me. And I said, okay, I can do this. And so from that point on, I started practicing yoga almost every day before my show as a warm-up and as a way to counter it, and I fell in love with it. So ever since then, that was about 15 years ago from now. Okay. So that I found it. I won't tell you how old I was then. But yeah, and
I won't ask.
Great, you're a gentleman.
Tell us a little bit about Vinyasa Yoga. I'm not familiar with that term.
So Vinyasa is a very broad term. A lot of people have no idea what it means, and my boyfriend always says, "Breathe through your Vinyasa," and he has no idea what that means. So Vinyasa means breath and movement. Simply breath and movement together is a Vinyasa. So Vinyasa Yoga as a style is a little more dynamic. So it means each breath, usually we're doing one movement. So it's sort of like a dance, which is why I think it connects with me so much. As I sequence my yoga classes, it feels like I'm kind of sometimes doing choreography. Okay. But what happens is with that breath and that movement, it creates this rhythm that is a moving meditation. So not only is your body getting this kind of extraordinary workout and you're pushing it to its limits, but somehow also you're doing this beautiful sort of meditation that calms you. So it's pretty special.
Okay, so Vinyasa is a form of yoga. Yeah. There was a book out called Yoga for Dummies. Part of that
did you
series.
read it before this show?
No, I should have though, but I do know that there's many forms of yoga. Yeah. So Vinyasa, how is that different from all of the others? What's the distinguishing characteristics of it?
I think speaking to what I was saying before is that it moves. It's got this grace to it, and with Vinyasa there's a lot of spaciousness to sequence, which means the order that we put the poses in is very intentional to warm up certain parts of your body to get you ready for what we call a peak pose. Okay. So Hatha Yoga, you hold the poses, it's like one pose at a time. Right. Kundalini Yoga moves energy through kriyas, through your chakras, and so Vinyasa kind of takes all of these elements and puts it together in a beautiful way, if that explains it.
It does. Actually, maybe the clip we have will explain it. Let's see if we can see the clip now.
Okay. Oh yes, that was at Surf Lodge this summer. Okay. In Montauk, where my business is. We did an outdoor yoga class.
Okay. This is out near the beach. This is really nice.
Right. This is right on the lake, actually, in Lake Montauk.
Lake. Ah, yeah. Okay. Lake Montauk. Oh, all right.
Yeah. Everyone looks great.
Yeah. They look like they're having fun.
They are. I hope.
Wow, look at those poses.
So just like you can see a little bit of the dynamic movement in it. It was hard to tell in that clip, but yeah, it's sort of a version of what we do.
So with that process, what benefits can people expect?
A more fit body. Like if you are in need of becoming more flexible, this helps get you more flexible.
Right.
Conversely, if you need to be a little stronger, which is what my issue was,
right.
This will rein everything in and strengthen your body in a complete way from head to toe. The breathing, you'll feel calmer. You'll feel much more centered in your body.
Okay.
And with the Dharma, which is like the spiritual aspect we add to it, hopefully you'll feel inspired. We want people to leave feeling far more inspired than when they walked in the door.
Is it for everyone?
Oh yeah, it's completely multi-level the way that we teach at BYoga. At BYoga we say we teach creative, dynamic, and sometimes irreverent yoga, and we want everyone to have a win, and everyone does. We give you places to stop. We make everyone feel completely safe and in great hands, and I think we do a really great job of catering to all levels.
Why irreverent?
Why irreverent? Because it's my company. No, we find that having, and this is what sets us apart at BYoga. We call it damn good yoga. That's what we teach.
Okay.
So we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. But we're taking a viewpoint on the yoga as we don't want to hold it in too precious of a way, and we don't want to alienate anyone that thinks that yoga is religious, or if they don't know the chants, when they come in the door they already feel like they can't connect. So we want it to be accessible. We want to speak in languages that people understand. So we play really fun kind of music that speaks to what we're talking about that day. I think we had a class where I talked about wine and old vine wine, and we played Red Red Wine by UB40. And we want that to be a character. We want, when we speak about the spiritual aspect, we want it to be in plain words that we all kind of understand. I talk a lot about, I got ghosted a few times by a couple guys, and so we use that as the spiritual kind of theme for the day. So there's really fun little stories that we weave in.
Okay, so you mentioned spiritual. Is there actually a spiritual component to this?
Oh, for sure. I mean, we start the class and weave it in through the entire thing about each class has a different theme, and it usually is like something that happened to me that week, or my teachers, or something that's prevalent in the world, whether it would be like the race riots or the election or something. So we tie in what's happening in current events, what's happening in people's hearts and minds, and then we start the class sort of speaking about that, and then the movement, the music, everything is carefully choreographed every single class to give you a holistic experience. So you walk out having not just moved your body, but being made to think and be present, and hopefully you laughed a lot. That's important to us.
I understand that your company, BYoga, is experiencing phenomenal growth. What do you attribute that to?
I think it's to our methodology and to our style. We created a brand that we really feel strongly about. We think it's fresh, we think it's fun, and our biggest thing in our studio is community. And Anna Chung, the co-founder and one of my closest friends and business partner, and I, it's important to us to know everyone's name. So you walk in the door and we're like, hey, how was your date last week? Hey, how was your kid's doctor's appointment? So it's that attention to detail that all of our staff, we now have 12 teachers and we're growing. I think we bring that to the yogic experience, and it feels like family. We're taking 18 people to Nepal in March to build a school. I'm taking 15 people to Thailand to have this amazing retreat. So we have 2 new locations coming up. One in Southampton, from our original location in Montauk in the Hamptons, and then one in New York City in
my goodness.
Fall of 2019, which is thrilling and terrifying, and we're excited.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm very happy for you.
Thanks, Bruce. I'm happy too.
Yes. Thank you so much for being on our show, too.
Thanks for having me.
I know with your busy schedule, it's not easy to get you to do things like this, and here you are. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This is so important to me, so it's nice to talk about.
How can people contact you?
So we have a website, www.byogahive.com, BYoga Hive, and an Instagram at byogahive.com, H-I-V-E, period.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bruce.
And now for all of you dog lovers, we have a good friend of ours, Julie Schortener, who is co-founder of the Muttly crew, is joining us. Actually, she's in New York today, and she's going to be beamed in to be with us, and hopefully we'll be seeing her briefly. Come in, Julie. Are you there? Hello. Hi, Julie. How are you? Okay.
Oh, I'm good. Thank you so much for having me on.
Okay, glad to have you. So tell us a little bit about Muttly Crew and how this company came about.
So we founded the Muttly Crew LLC a couple of years ago. This is a dog apparel company, but we also provide a lot of novelty gifts to canine companions like t-shirts and keychains and mugs. And soon, look out for it, the cat apparel line will be coming. Now, the company was founded at the end of 2016, but the idea has been brewing for years. I actually worked in the financial news industry and dabbled in sales here and there for over a decade. But through it all, my continued passion for our dog, son, who is a mutt, Teddy, was always there. And no matter what was going on in life, he always was a priority. Okay. And as I try to find products that showcase maybe a dog that looked like him or kind of represented his background, which is very exotic.
Right.
He's a German Shepherd, he's a Chow Chow, a Papillon, and a Portuguese water dog according to a DNA test. I couldn't find anything.
Right.
It always kind of bothered me if I wanted to give gifts to like my husband or do something else for a bunch of the mutt mothers and fathers that I knew in the neighborhood that had become good friends,
right,
all through Teddy. So we decided to start this company and make mutts the star of our clothes and our calendar.
Okay, very interesting. And by the way, years ago there was a show called the Dick Cavett Show, which was a talk show on TV, and the Dick Cavett Show was done right across the street from one of the LA firehouses. And all through the show you would hear fire engines going out. We're under an airport, and so you might have heard a jet go by, so that was what that noise was. So mutts are very close to my heart as well. Years ago I did a training video with a woman named Barbara Woodhouse, who was a very famous Brit who was doing dog training at that time. And part of what we did is we went to the LA Pound as a promotional piece for our video to see various mutts. And I picked out one which was about this big, about 5 pounds, and decided to use the mutt in the training video, which we did, and I fell in love and of course adopted this little mutt, which turned out to be a 100-pound combination Malamute and German Shepherd. So mutts are close to my heart. So one of the questions I have for you is, do you have clothes that actually fit a 100-pound dog?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that was one of the goals that actually came out of this was, we started out just trying to showcase mutts because we found them underrepresented in products and media.
Right.
And then also with that, we found that, finding dog clothes that just fit every type of dog, no matter what kind of purebred or mixed breed, that was a big issue. And I know this as a dog mother, finding clothes that fit my dog because he's got like a Chow Chow neck. He's got long legs like a shepherd. And then he's got like these, this Papillon mixed in him. So he's an interesting type of dog, but that's a big deal to us to improve what's out there, to make shirts and other clothes that fit dogs in a much better way, a comfortable way, in a way that's suitable whether they have long fur or short fur, and for all seasons. So we definitely do. I actually have a couple of shirts here, and I have one. This is a tank top that can fit a dog with a big neck with thin legs. So, we have everything, but we do try to cover everyone from a Chihuahua to a St. Bernard mix.
Okay.
And that's a big deal to us.
I actually have something here in studio, one of your creations, and as I held it upside down, it is Barking for Change, and this is from the Muttly Crew, and I'm wondering what size dog would this fit?
Definitely fit big variety of dogs. That shirt will definitely go on. We have different sizes, right, and different neck sizes and armhole sizes. So, I mean, that shirt can fit on multiple, many breeds. Do you do customized work as well? Yes, that's something that we're definitely focusing on in 2019, is getting something a little more tailored. We've conducted multiple study groups with dog parents, and we're looking to make these shirts a little bit more comfortable for dogs, but as well as for the owner, where the owner can walk the dog easier. So harness slits and snaps and things to help adjust the size for that dog. Like you mentioned, you had a dog that's 5 pounds that turned out to be 100 pounds. we love to be able to provide you with a shirt that can last that dog, maybe at least the first few months. Something with snaps, and I mean, I know too, I adopted Teddy, and I was told he was neutered and nothing was wrong with him. I mean, the dog was sick as heck, and he had all his manhood. So, you know, with these little furry angels, you know, you never know what you're going to get. So we try to work with that, and our mission definitely is to have fun slogans like "Barking for Change," when the dog can kind of represent itself and what it might want to accomplish, generating more awareness for all these dogs that need to be adopted so they don't get euthanized. But and we also have Buy for Leisha and some other fun ones like Don't Be a Breedist. But you know, in the end, we want to let the dogs be represented and also let the pet parents have a little fun with it too.
Yes. So how expensive are these?
They're not, you know, I would say, it's, to be fair, they're pretty affordable. I mean, they range from anywhere from $16 to $25. And we really look at how much fabric we're using, how the embroidery was done. And yeah, not too bad. And our bandanas went between, which I have one here, between $10 and $15. This Buy for Leisha. That we have. And yeah, I mean, we also have a calendar. And what's interesting too, the whole idea behind this company was the fact that I couldn't find a calendar with an image of our dog on it. So one of the first ideas was to make the Muttly calendar instead of the monthly calendar, and that just kind of led to us finding out that there was a huge need for more comfortable clothes for dogs.
Okay. And we've had some photos up showing this is actually your calendar for 2017, right?
All those dogs are mixed breed dogs, and actually those dogs are from New York and LA. So those are our first, you know, those are some of our first Muttly models.
Okay.
And it was really fun to showcase them, and the parents had a lot of fun at those photo shoots.
Is your 2019 calendar ready?
It is. It is ready, and it will be soon distributed, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. So we're working on that right now.
Because I know that you speak Muttese, and I'm curious to know your little mutt friends, when they talk to you, did they tell you that these clothes are comfortable?
Yes, and my dog is a great example, because our son Teddy, he didn't like to wear tank tops too much, but he doesn't mind these at all. And it is cold, and he did speak to me, I believe. Right. And he said, you know what, Mom, it's all right. This one's comfortable, and I do need it when it's really cold outside. And we're about to hit the January northeast coast temperatures, so it's coming.
So how can the human companions connect with you?
Well, please check us out at the muttlycrewstore.com, and you'll find all our dog apparel and human novelty gift items. And soon, like I said before, cat items are coming.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for appearing on Hot Innovators. I'm sure we'll have you back again with some cats. And we're going to now, thank you, and we're going to now move to Nick O'Donnell, who is the president and developer of Terraform Design. And so, Nick, tell us a little bit about why Terraform and how it was developed.
Yeah, so Terraform, it's a company where I design different architectural fixtures, benches for public areas, lights, different wall fixtures, using a process called Parametric Design. And so it's a little hard to understand at first, but basically, the way I think of Parametric Design is we almost grow our designs instead of designing the traditional way. So a lot of my designs will be very organic in nature, very geometric in nature. And the reason for that is because instead of designing using the traditional means, we actually design using pieces of code that we model in 3D space, our models, and then generate them using code that grows the shapes, and then we fabricate them and manufacture them after they're grown on the computer.
Oh, okay. So I noticed on your website it refers to code form. Mm-hmm. What exactly is that?
Yeah, so I like to say that our designs are grown instead of designed the traditional way. So if you think of the way that design has been done for many, many years, you'll have an artist or a designer just drafting on either paper or on the computer, designing one specific piece that will look one specific way. So the difference between that and parametric design, which is a lot of what we do, is that instead of just designing we like to grow our designs in basically we will create a script or an algorithm that generates the shape. And so we'll have either a lamp or a bench that is completely grown just from a series of just code components that tell the geometry how to take form. And from there, what we do is we input certain designer input into it, or even randomness, which generates the shape. And once it's how we like it, we say, yes, that's great, and then I prepare it for fabrication. So a lot of our pieces are either laser cut or cut on a CNC router, which is just a spinning drill bit that follows a computer-guided path. And so, and the other great thing about parametric design is that because they exist as a piece of code, codes can be tweaked infinitely. So if you have one design that's a bench, but you wish, you know what, I wish this was, 2 inches taller, or about, a foot wider, or I wish it had this feature or this feature. It's simply a click of a mouse to get that design exactly how you want it, instead of having to go through a whole new process of redrafting and redesigning.
I actually like to see some of your work, but before we do that, tell us a little bit about why you formed this company.
So, I actually like to think of myself as the first customer, actually, for this type of design. So,
okay.
So parametric design, just by default, typically deals with very organic, very geometric, very futuristic looking types of design, partly because of the way it's formed, partly just because of the style that's emerging. Typically, a lot of these styles start in other countries and sort of work their way to the United States after being in Russia, in the Middle East. And so I was at a 3D printing symposium when I was in college, just learning about some of the different high-tech manufacturing methods being done today. And I listened to this company from South America talk about this new way of designing, where they would model just a person's ring or this architectural landscape for the inside of this coffee shop, just using nothing but just code and just connecting these little wires on this computer screen. And I thought, when I saw it, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I was just studying business in college, but decided that summer I needed to go home and sort of learn how to do it. So, so I just taught myself how to do this sort of parametric design, and then I designed my first model just to see if I could do it. And it's interesting because about a month later, it had actually just sort of accidentally ended up on the front page of USA's Today college section. So it was kind of a little happy accident, which was really like a proof of concept to me that not only do I like this stuff, but apparently other people do too. And so it's really just a new emerging sort of trend in furniture that we really haven't quite seen yet.
So I noticed that there's a mysterious object right behind you there, and then there's another one offset as well. Why don't you tell us about those?
Sure. So this is one of the first lamps that I ever designed. So this is I call this my Spore Lamp. It was designed using, like I said, just a piece of code that generated the shape. I told the computer, you know what, I want this lamp that has a round structure with leaves on it, much like a pine cone or like an artichoke, or there's a little African animal called a pangolin. And so the interesting thing is that a lot of our designs end up being very lifelike, because we base them off of patterns found in nature. So almost the same way that a piece of DNA would tell a pine cone how to create its leaves, we use a very similar process to tell the computer how to array the leaves and position them around a structure that we're making. So this was one of the very first pieces that I designed, completely laser cut using around 150 different pieces that are all wooden that connect together. And yeah, so it's received some good attention. We recently got these in a number of international stores in Hollister, and so yes, this is one of my first ones. This is my baby. This is our best seller.
It's a beautiful piece.
Thank you very much.
I noticed there's something over there too. You want to bring that on? Let's
Absolutely.
take a look at that.
So this is one of my larger pieces. Typically, we make a lot of just custom pieces for indoor spaces and in large public walkways and entryways and things. So this is a bench that I designed a while back that I call the internecto bench. A lot of my names are derived from Latin words, and so this just means the weaved bench. And so this shows a little bit more of the potential of parametric design, because just very, like I said, very organic, very geometric, very abstract shapes can be achieved. And really, if you look at it, it's just vertical pieces of plywood, just cut in a certain way that allows it to have the illusion of morphing and changing shape over time.
Now, how long did it take you to make that?
So this one, thankfully, a lot of the precision work is done by a machine, by a computer. And so a lot of the CNC routing that's done, just the spinning drill bit that follows the computer path, a lot of that is automated, but a lot of it is hand done too. So there's a lot of sanding, a lot of staining, finishing that goes into it. So it can take from 2 to 3 weeks to make a single custom piece of this size, just because of just the sheer amount of work in care and precision that goes into it.
So this is a bench.
It is.
How else could this be used?
This is a bench. It's also been sold as a TV stand. There's one in California right now that I think functions that way in an entryway. But we make all kinds of things. We have wall fixtures that just hang on the wall as just decoration, or even acoustics. This specific type of a style is really good for interior acoustics, just because of the way it allows sound to bounce off the room. There's a lot of just potential for this as corporate area or public area large benches. Some of our bigger projects have been 20 to 30 feet in length, and it's very comfortable too. A lot of people see it and they think, oh no, my butt's gonna fall through it or something, and,
right.
and that's not the case really. That's one of the main questions we always get is, can I sit on it? And absolutely, it's designed very much for that. It's actually pretty comfortable.
Well, I think the new location at BYoga in Manhattan needs this bench.
I think so too.
Yes.
I'd like to donate it.
Well, this has been very interesting. You really are quite the artiste.
Thank you.
And quite the artist, and I must say that it's very impressive. How can people reach you?
So I have an online presence in a number of places. Some of our sales happen through Etsy, especially with our smaller pieces. So you can find us on Etsy at Terraform Design. Okay. We have a presence on house.com, and then our website, Terraform Design, terraform-design.com is the typical way that people reach out to us for custom work.
Okay, good. Well, I'd like to thank our guests today. Sarrah, thank you so much for being on our show. Nick and Julie, wherever you are, thank you for being on the show as well. And I'd like to thank all of our viewers to tune in to Hot Innovators. We will be with you very soon. Please look for our next episode. Thank you for watching.